Welcome to Vibes of India. I'm Janvi and I'm very glad to be sitting with Manjula Pooja Shroff, the Edupreneur. And today we are going to talk about her work, her life, and her success mantras through the book Success Mantras and Musings. So to start with, can you please tell us how was the process of sharing your life, your struggles, your journey with an author?
Thank you so much, Janvi, for having me here in Vibes of India. Lovely to be here in the studio. Uh, Let me say that it was a totally unexpected, kind of experience. When I think back and I think about my bucket list, what are the things, top 10 things that I want to do before I die? I do not remember seeing a biography or, a book on me, any of that. So it wasn't planned. Uh, let's see, I think Anurita, the author, and me were having coffee. It was just pre-COVID days, and just generally chatting up. And one of the things she kind of observed is that she was like, I know you through what is written about you, through just a variety of stuff out there. But every time we meet you, she says, there's a side to you, there's the way you think, there's the way you... Very different from what is written about. And she was like, haven't you ever thought about bringing that side out? And I was like, we just let it slide. That conversation just went away. And during COVID, I think all of us started to look inwards and have time on our hands. And this whole conversation restarted. And that's how suddenly we have a book out there.
Totally. And here you titled the book as your success mantras. If you want to talk from your book and from your life about any of the success mantras that you would want to share, what would it be?
There are a couple of things that stand out for me. The first one I want to talk about is self-confidence. We've heard so many quotes on self-confidence. Self-confidence is the ability to balance. Often, if you're a successful person, you tend to be overconfident. And when you're overconfident, the chances of making a mistake are very high. And also
the balance is so important.
And it's also, when you come across as this overconfident, brazen kind of a person, it's not accepted very well. On the other hand, if you're kind of underconfident, there are so many things you're doing again and again. There's a voice in your head that is stopping you and stuff. The sweet spot is being just about right. It's being intuitively confident. It's like, it's not about thinking that you're better than others. It's about knowing that you don't have to compare at all. It's one of those things. So I think self-confidence is a strong suit. The other is a definition of success. Success means a lot to different people. Success is for some people owning fancy cars, some people owning houses, some people climbing the corporate ladder, others could be production, name it. For me, I think the more I thought about it while the book was being written, success is a sense of respect.
For yourself, for others?
A sense of respect in which people view you. To me, success is when people look and say that she has a strong value system. When people say that she's made of such strong metal that, she'll sway but not break. Success is an attitude. To me, success is the ability, I think, to walk alone.
Interesting. And when you talk about success, it's very important that you reach success after facing so many failures. Even in the book, you've talked about your failures, you've talked about the hard times of your life. Tell us something about your failures, because many a times people shy away from talking about failures, but we would really want to focus on that as well.
I'd love to. In this city, a lot of my failures have been spoken about loudly. The way I look at it, when you climb very high, you fall equally hard. It's the distance from where you're falling that determines the impact. To me, success was never a destination. So failure is never final. Success is a path, failure is a lesson learned.
True.
So, if success never turned my head or never went to my head and I never got a swollen head, then failure also doesn't go to my heart.
But do you want to elaborate on any of your failures which might have, really touched you or might have taught you something in life, something you've also shared in the book?
I mean, let's say start very early. I came from high palace walls,
Royal family.
right? And I went into a Delhi Barsati. Now that is a range of life.
Yeah.
Right there, I don't know whether that was a success or failure. For many people, it would be a failure.
Failure.
Who leaves palace walls and comes and lives in a Barsati?
Yeah.
Right? But that just taught me new ways of life.
True.
It really is the way you look at life.
Yeah.
If it was not for that Barsati, I would not be who I am today.
True.
Those days of Delhi shaped the human being that I am today.
True.
It taught me hard work. It taught me never to say die. I mean, it's only about falling and getting up and running again. It's as simple as that.
As simple as that. Yeah.
It's just having this attitude. It's like we're all actors in a stage. And some people do a great job. Of course, it's my life, so I'm the main actor in my stage.
Yeah.
And then there are people,
Yeah.
right? So there will be people doing a good part, there will be people doing a bad part. It's about when you get off the stage, what do you think?
Totally.
You've got to leave the stage where it is. I mean, if you think that the villain of the piece is out there to get you in life, I don't think that's how it works. So to get to this point of balance where you
It's
think,
very important.
yes, where you think that life is a stage and you're just an actor, it comes after a lot of churning.
And in this journey of yours, what do you think was the turning point, a decision, a moment which really changed everything for you?
By the time I was in my early 20s, I had lost every surviving individual who was an adult in my life.
Yeah.
So my uncles, my dads, my aunts, I lost my brother very young, my mom. These were defining moments in my life. There were times when I did not understand death, when I was confronted with it. I was struggling with, where are all of these people going away and never coming, because it began so early.
Yeah.
But like they say, life prepares you. So once you conquer death,
There's nothing more like this.
but you have to stay on that path.
Yeah.
You have to stay on that path because everybody is born for a purpose.
Yeah.
One of the purposes is to understand death itself, because
True.
the purpose of life ends in death.
Death. Completely.
And somewhere along the way, life taught me how to understand it.
Yes.
I had no other choice but to grow up.
But you faced so much, and it was so interesting to read in the book that you never showcased yourself as a victim. Okay, I went through this. Okay, why was God unfair to me? I didn't see that shade at all. Like, was it by choice? How did you manage to keep a fine balance?
No, I'm sure I would have had all of these, my bechari moments and all that. I would have had, right? Because I did go through a lot of pain in life. But life is meant to be celebrated. I mean, whichever scripture you read, in whichever form you read, life is a celebration. You've got to get that. And somewhere along the line, I learned the beauty of music and the beauty of dance. I mean, if you're not I come from the palaces where we led very parda kind of lives and all that. If you see with what brazenness and what
You.
I dance, if you've seen that, it's not something that I didn't have to work on.
Yeah.
I would have shed inhibitions, I would have left my thinking behind and accepted this free spirit of life.
True.
Right? So, somewhere in that I learned that life is to be free. Life is not shackled. Life is a celebration. Life is a song and a dance. And really what is inside is outside.
Okay.
You don't go about with masks in life.
Yeah.
So internally I'm very, very sorted.
Okay.
And that is what you see outside.
Yeah.
You see this cheerful, never say die, unbeatable spirit, but that's just really who I am.
But when you talk about this unbeatable spirit, when you talk about this resilience is also reflected in the book so much. But tell us about that one person or one thing or that one line from the book that really inspires you, that keeps you going, and that's why we have this resilient soul with us.
You know, there is not, life is an ongoing journey, right?
Yeah. So there's
So it's never going to end.
yeah.
Whatever has happened, whatever we've captured till the book is still now.
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So it's not in the situation,
Hmm.
it's in the attitude.
Yeah.
It's not in that one person, because I could have had parents, but parents don't stay forever. You could have had a spouse, but they don't stay forever. You could have children, but they go on.
Yeah.
If you're asking who is that one person who has held on to you,
Yeah.
who has,
Like motivated you in your life.
now there is one person, and that one person is my inner core, is my inner compass, is my inner self.
Yeah.
That is that one person who I will always have.
True. True.
It is that one person if I nurture. It is that one person if I, treat well. If it is that one person that I listen to, call it instinct, call it consciousness, call it the sixth dimension, call it the 11th dimension.
Yeah.
It is that one person that if I paid attention to,
Yeah. It would like stand. True.
never leave you.
Yeah, true. Was this the spirit that really saved you, which really helped you when you were going through a lot of media trial? I think it was the toughest time because whatever was taking place was in the public domain.
So I think that my faith and my belief I held on to.
Yeah,
I just held on to the fact that if you're right, time has to support you.
true.
I have to have the guts to stand here and wait for time to tell its story.
Yeah.
There were moments that it
Yeah.
was not easy. By any stretch of imagination,
Yeah.
it was not easy. But my faith was so rooted
Yeah.
that I said,
Did it shatter?
it will tell, time will tell. And it did.
Did it shatter you at that moment? Like, did it do something to you?
I honestly learned a hell of a lot of lessons. I mean, like I said, shatter is a very strong word. It swayed me. I mean, I was like rocking away. But I did not break, and thank God for that.
Yeah.
But then again, my life taught me. In my 20s, Janvi, I have dealt with stuff that I did not understand. I was emotionally so young to deal with the kind of stuff that I was dealing with.
Yeah.
If I went through that, that prepared me to go through this.
Go through this.
I only wish that people don't have to go through all of this.
Yeah.
Having said that, life had prepared me.
True.
But it was tough.
Yeah. But like as an outsider, people know you as an entrepreneur. People know you as this public person. But tell us a few things that you also mentioned in the book that people might not know about you, like a different side of you, which you would want to share it, like some anecdotes or something about you that viewers should know.
So, I'm a very, very approachable person. I'm a very friendly person. I genuinely love people. And that comes across. I mean, whenever I meet anybody, you'll feel like, did I really not know her? Because I am just like an open book. Having said that, I'm also quite introvertish. Very little about me has been said before the book.
Yeah.
The real me.
The real you. Yeah, totally.
Right? So, I'm like the term goes, cautious extrovert.
Okay. So that's one thing that our viewers should know, like about you.
I'm a very, if you see me outside, I'm so gregarious. I'm such a social being that you'll think I'm a true extrovert.
Yeah.
But my life, only a few people will know.
Yeah.
My pain, possibly nobody knows. I am just so internalized in that. So this is whole dichotomy about the way I am externally and the way I am internally. But internally, I'm really, really very rooted. My inner me and the external me is so much in sync that sometimes I don't need people. Sometimes I just need myself. And that's why, every year I take a retreat. I just have to be by myself and get everything aligned and re-centered and all of that, balanced and all of that stuff, energy balancing. I need that time for me. So the first thing is this whole thing about who I am and the way I come across is actually very, very different. The second thing I would say is that, I'm one of the fundamental things that drives my life is parenting, and thankfully, because I'm in the field of education, and parenting is so close to my heart that I love children, and that very fact of my love for children stands me as a good educator.
And so much joy, to be around children.
So much joy, and not just that. I come from a firm belief that children can do no wrong. Whenever there are issues, I keep the children's interest in the center. And that really puts me apart as a professional.
And also this emotional quotient which comes into play. Totally.
Exactly, right? It is important to build human beings. Once we create good human beings, everything else will be sorted. True.
Is there any part of the book that maybe you would want to elaborate more on, or read out, or maybe share any chapter of?
Yes, let's see. There is one book, one chapter that is very, very. Can I just grab?
Please.
Chashma or something, so I'll read better. So there is one part which I just ticked off. Let me see. Okay, so let me do this at the cost of repetition. And then
no worries, I mean, we can.
So let me do this, right? Success spelled my way.
Okay.
Everybody builds upon an idea of how they would want their life to be. People have a very individualistic approach to measuring success and achievements. If material gains are a benchmark for some, top corporate seats are a big draw for others. If a fleet of cars or a fancy home are what drives some, education in an Ivy League college could be success for others. From the point of planning to pushing oneself in that direction, there is a supposed road to success that varies for all. The way I look at it, success is a sense of respect. To me, it is when people look up to you and realize that you're made of solid metal, that you cannot be broken. It is also when people who work for you not only trust your capabilities, but also your value system. It is being confident of your decisions and being able to stand by them. Success is an attitude. It is an ability to walk alone.
True. When you just spoke about walking alone, do you think that just because you are a woman, just because the gender comes into play, things were a little harsher for you, or maybe the patriarchy, do you think, did it ever come into play?
The core of me wants to say no because I'm a woman and I believe that women and men are equal. So the core of me wants to say no. But the realistic answer is people think that women are easier targets. People think. Definitely people go less harder on a man. You know that as a professional, and I'm talking to a professional, so you'll understand what I'm saying. Having said that, the metal, not to break, comes much easier to a woman. We are just made of emotional strength is higher. And I'm in no way comparing men and women. I really am a very, I believe that the yin and the yang have to be balanced for the world to go around. It's not about one being better than the other. It's about both complementing each other. And I've really grown up thinking this in life. Having said that, there are strengths and weaknesses, right? I think the fairer sex, emotional strength is a huge high. And that's why we stand up tall so fast.
Irrespective of what
happens. So, that's why we are able to, right there where there is this chapter, there is this very question.
If not a woman.
If not a woman, right? I surely not desire to be a man.
Okay.
At the risk of sounding repetitive, I truly believe women are God's special creations. And given a choice, I would be loved to be one a woman again. And the unparalleled gift is the blessing of motherhood. Let me just jump quickly to this one. Aggression in a man is a celebrated trait.
Yeah.
But aggression in a woman is frowned upon.
True. She's considered bossy.
So, so there are double standards in society.
True.
Right? Because women are possibly supposed to be petite.
Yeah.
But if you're running an organization, I mean, you can look petite, but you have to sound bossy.
Totally.
Otherwise, how does it work?
Yeah. And aggression is definitely not a domain of a particular gender.
It's a position. It's a chair. It's a chair. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. When you saw this book, did you feel it was some sort of catharsis? For all that you've gone through or for your journey? Because it's sort of celebration to have a book on your life or describing your life.
When the book came out, I did not realize what a wonderful journey this is. I seriously did not realize. When we were doing the launch in Delhi, there was this industrious lady from Orissa who was launching the book. The book publisher is a lady, the author is a lady, and the subject is a lady. So we were 4 women.
Wow.
And we were talking about the book, and it didn't get lost on me that I was just privileged and lucky that my life was being spoken about. Over there were women whose lives were similarly challenging, and everybody could have written a book. I'm just fortunate to be one of those people whose life is being spoken about and celebrated. I mean, it's just my good fortune. Every woman, there is a story to tell. Every woman, wherever she is, and these women must know this, there is a story that woman has to tell.
Yeah.
And that is the fact of it.
True.
Because there is so much restriction in society, there is so much social misbalance that everybody has a story to tell.
True.
So
now that you've done your work, there is nothing more to prove to people. What next? What are you aspiring for?
Somewhere along when this book was being written, and I did have a lot of introspection, right? Because I was going back memory lane, I was thinking about the feelings, and this is like a feeling kind of a book. It's not just milestones and narrations
it's
and
not
events.
about like just do these 3 things to be successful. No,
Correct,
it's not that sort of book.
So it's a feeling kind of a book. It's an emotion kind of a book. It's an analysis kind of a book. It's a deeper layered book, right? So when I was doing that, one of the things I realized that very early in life, if life has a formula, I had figured that formula out. But up to now, I was not teaching that formula to anybody.
Okay, but now it's about like sharing and...
Yes. And so I run this whole digital school called Shroffism School.
Okay, that's interesting.
And my entire focus is just this.
Okay.
That, we are all born, every human being is born with a certain vibrational frequency. The way we think, the way we act. See, thoughts, words and actions all come from thought, right? So it's a vibrational speed which can be upped, which can be enhanced. So my entire focus is wherever I have influence, and I have a lot of influence because we have children, we have parents, we have staff.
Yeah.
I mean, at any point in time, I have a direct influence of 30, 40, 50,000 people.
Yeah.
So wherever I have influence, my whole aim is to take people to their next level of vibrational frequency. How can I help people be bigger, better versions of themselves? Wherever they are, whoever they are. Because some of the trials I've gone through openly, some of the trials I've not gone through openly. But whatever little you know it's enough to break people.
Yeah.
But the fact that I'm sitting here with you and talking and there's a book and all of it looks like celebratory is because somewhere that formula has worked for me. If it's worked for me, it can work for anybody.
Yeah. And now I think your goal is to, share it with more people and elevate
Teach
their
life.
Wow.
Not be selfish about it. Somewhere I had kept it within me. And, right after the COVID, I started to share. I started to talk to staff, I've started to talk to children, I've started to talk to parents, and just start taking people to the next level to make them better versions of themselves.
Lovely. We wish you all the best in all your endeavors, and once again, many congratulations for the book. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. That's all for today's news, and for more such conversations, keep watching Vibes of India. Thank you.